It was a ship so grand they called it Unsinkable, yet the Titanic sunk on its maiden voyage, claiming over 1,500 lives. The Titanic was not just a ship, it was a marvel of engineering, a testament to the hubris of an era convinced it had tamed the forces of nature. Born from the ambition of making the largest and most luxurious ship ever constructed, the Titanic was deemed invincible by its creators. Its conception was steeped in dreams of grandeur and invulnerability. Yet the unthinkable happened. The ship that was meant to conquer the oceans met its end at the hands of an iceberg. The Unsinkable sank, and in less than 3 hours it was lost to the icy depths of the Atlantic. The shock of its demise reverberated around the world, a stark reminder of the limits of human achievement. In the end, the maiden voyage of the Titanic was its first and last. The Titanic was no ordinary ship. It was a symbol of human ambition and technological prowess. Born from the vision of ambitious minds, it was assembled in Belfast over a span of 2 years. More than 3,000 workers laboured tirelessly, forging its body from over 30,000 tons of steel. The Titanic was a marvel of luxury as well. It boasted state-of-the-art amenities, including a gymnasium, swimming pool, and lavish dining halls. Each detail, from the grand staircase to the ornate cabins, was designed to impress and awe. As the construction neared completion, anticipation swelled. The Titanic was hailed as the Unsinkable, a testament to mankind's mastery over the sea. Its maiden voyage was a spectacle eagerly awaited by thousands across the globe. As it set sail on April 10, 1912, little did anyone know the Titanic was headed towards a catastrophic destiny. The Titanic embarked on its voyage with a sense of grandeur, unaware of the icy fate that awaited. On April 10, 1912, this marvel of engineering cast off from Southampton, England, carrying over 2,000 souls to New York City. Aboard the ship, passengers revelled in the opulence of their surroundings. The first-class accommodations were like nothing seen before, with luxurious suites, grand dining halls, and even a squash court. Meanwhile, the third-class passengers, although in simpler quarters, were still treated to comforts beyond those of the typical transatlantic steamer. Life on board the Titanic was a microcosm of the Edwardian era's social stratification, but for a brief moment in time, they were all united on a journey across the sea. But as the sun set on April 14th, the ship's trajectory took a chilling turn. The crew, despite receiving numerous iceberg warnings, continued at full speed. Suddenly, a lookout spotted an iceberg dead ahead. Despite the frantic efforts to steer clear, the Titanic grazed the iceberg, causing a fatal wound on her starboard side. The initial reaction to the collision was one of disbelief. How could the unsinkable ship be sinking? As the reality began to sink in, chaos ensued. Lifeboats were launched, many of them not fully loaded, exacerbating the tragedy. The women and children first policy left many men aboard, creating heartbreaking scenes of families torn apart. As the Titanic sent out distress signals into the cold night, the enormity of the disaster began to dawn. The once magnificent vessel was now a sinking tomb, its grandeur quickly being swallowed by the frigid Atlantic. The last 2 hours of the Titanic were filled with acts of heroism, cowardice, and profound human drama, forever sealing its place in history as a symbol of human ambition and the unpredictable power of nature. The sinking of the Titanic was not just a disaster, it was a wake-up call for humanity. In the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, rescue operations were launched with an urgency that underscored the magnitude of the disaster. The Cunard liner, RMS Carpathia, was the first on the scene, arriving about 4 hours after the Titanic sank. Despite the grim circumstances, they managed to rescue over 700 survivors from the icy waters. The world watched in horror as news of the disaster spread. Headlines screamed of the unimaginable tragedy, causing shockwaves across continents. The sinking of the so-called unsinkable ship smashed the illusion of invincibility that the world had held about such technological marvels. It served as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of human error and overconfidence. In the years following the disaster, the sinking of the Titanic led to significant changes in maritime safety regulations. One of these was the establishment of the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, in 1914. This convention, still in force today, introduced a multitude of safety measures, including compulsory lifeboat drills, sufficient lifeboats for all passengers, and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs in the North Atlantic. Furthermore, the disaster led to the improvement of wireless communication at sea. The Radio Act of 1913 required all seagoing vessels to maintain 24-hour radio watch and to have secondary power supplies for their wireless telegraph systems. This act was instrumental in ensuring that distress signals could be received and acted upon promptly, potentially saving countless lives in the process. The sinking of the Titanic was a profound tragedy that shook the world. However, it also served as a catalyst for change, leading to a safer and more prepared maritime world. It taught us that no matter how advanced our technology gets, we must always respect the power of nature and the importance of safety precautions. The Titanic disaster changed the course of maritime history, serving as a stark reminder of human fallibility. More than a century later, the Titanic continues to captivate the world, its legacy immortalized in popular culture. The Titanic has become a symbol of the early 20th century, a time of grandeur, ambition, and ultimately heartbreaking tragedy. Its story has been retold countless times, in books, films, and songs, each interpretation offering a different perspective on the events that unfolded that fateful night. The ship's tragic end has inspired tales of heroism, love, and loss, of the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. From James Cameron's epic film to the countless novels and documentaries, the Titanic's legacy has permeated every facet of popular culture. Its tale has sparked a fascination with maritime history, inspiring generations to explore the depths of the ocean, to seek answers, and to remember those who perished. The Titanic remains a symbol of human ambition and tragedy, a story that continues to